Hi, my name is Iris from Barcoding and Barcoding Canada. And Barcoding is a supply chain automation innovation company. We're here to keep our customers efficient, accurate, and connected. With me today is Scott Perry, Senior VP of Sales from Datalogic. And together we are celebrating National Barcode Day. So this is a very special edition videos. So if you like content like this, please make sure to like and subscribe from the below. Datalogic is a global company and they are a technology leader in automatic data capture and factory automation markets, specialized in designing and production of barcode readers, mobile computer sensors for detection, measurement, safety, RFID, vision, and laser marking systems. Again, keyword barcodes, but just so you know, that's not all they do. Like I said, today we're honored to have Scott Perry, Senior VP of Sales from Datalogic, joining us to share in the festivities. Scott, I will let you do the intro.
No, thank you very much. Excited to talk about it. Yeah, it's an exciting day. I mean, certainly barcodes are a big part of who we are. So anytime we get the opportunity to celebrate and talk about barcoding technology, it's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting.
Well, I mean, that's why we have a whole national day to celebrate. At the time of filming, it's not yet National Barcode Day, but it will be soon. So I urge everybody to, one, check out the goods from our partner Datalogic, and two, to have a slice of cake to celebrate.
For sure.
So quick fact. Did you know a Datalogic scanner was first used to scan a pack of juicy fruit gum in Troy, Ohio? As of today, so much has changed, so much. And it's not just in the retail space, but also in many of the industries we serve. Datalogic has been a tremendous partner in helping our customers stay efficient, accurate, and connected, which, as one of the leaders in the supply chain space, they are really helping businesses innovate and digitalize. Again, we want to thank them for sponsoring our National Barcode Day celebration along with ScanSource. And be sure to also follow them on their social to see content like this and much more. But since we do have a prestigious speaker here today, I'm just going to let him do most of the talking. So just some very quick questions for you, Scott. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
So, not to put you on the spot, but if you can give our viewers a very quick history lesson from data with a Datalogic flavor on the first scan in Troy, Ohio.
For sure. So, it's interesting. As much as things change, they stay the same. If you go back several decades ago, what started this whole solution, this whole technology was an ask. And the ask was from a supermarket manager to somehow find a way to speed up his checkout line. And what's amazing is, even today, that's still top of mind with most retailers, and how they can improve their checkout process, how they can move customers through faster. And the irony is it all started with the same question so many decades ago. So roughly around 1974 in a supermarket, Marsh Supermarkets out of Ohio, the very first barcode was scanned, as you said before, on Wrigley's Juicy Fruit Gum on a Datalogic Encounter scanner. The irony is that it was the scanner, I think, was the size of a small refrigerator. The technology certainly got much better, but it was pretty exciting because the very first time that an item was sent down a conveyor belt in a grocery store or really anywhere and was picked up by a barcode reader. So it was really what's kicked off the whole technology, the whole market that we see today. The gum itself, the small packing gum package, as well as the scanner, are actually located today in the Smithsonian, just because of the impact of what really started the whole technology.
And like I said, so much has changed, and not just for retail. We have customers who are always, looking for the next day delivery. They're looking for stock ASAP. They're now just like scouring online. So if you don't have the item on shelf,
for sure,
they're just gone.
They've become ubiquitous with what we do in all of our daily lives. It's like everybody has a cell phone today. We all have access to the internet. but what we don't realize, we forget, is barcodes are touching our lives every single day. It's almost kind of just taken for granted. I think one of the best descriptions I've heard was that it's really brilliant simplicity, because it's a very low cost solution to a very complex issue. And it's done so well that we don't even think about it. From, being in a supermarket, obviously we're used to scanning items going through checkout, to being in an airport, when we have a QR code on our phone, to online shopping, to making sure that the items make it from the manufacturer or the warehouse to our doorstep. It's really quite amazing how every single day barcodes touch our lives, and the simplicity of the technology, it just continues to work. And it's something that we see a long future for as well. Even though we've got always amazing developing technologies, we see barcoding technology continue to play its role.
Exactly. So, and that's why we're celebrating the barcode, because when you tell people that's what we're doing on June 26th, they're like, okay, but why? And you think, well, don't you go grocery shopping? Don't you order things from the internet?
For
Don't
sure.
you, yeah, don't you buy household goods? It really is, when you buy something, when you're looking for information, it's there. And it's way faster than you typing something in Google. You just
It's
scan it.
absolutely, it works so well, it's taken for granted. And if you stop and imagine, what would life be like if we didn't have it?
Oh no, I don't
Yeah,
want to think about that.
for sure. So yeah, it's really quite amazing. And it's a technology that we, again, as I said before, we really see a long future as well, even though there's always evolving technologies and new solutions. Barcoding is hard to replace, just because of what I said before, the brilliant simplicity. It just works extremely well. It's a very low cost solution. It's reliable, and it's embraced by everybody. So it really is quite exciting.
That's right. So, speaking of exciting, do you know what Datalogic is doing to celebrate National Barcode Day?
A lot like we're doing today, right? It's taking the message out to our customers and the industry. And it's important to always not only remember where we came from and how we got here, but I think it's just as important to always just realize of the impact that they have. And like we're doing right now, just really sit back and understand, look, barcoding is ingrained in everything we do. It's hard to spend a day. Try thinking of a day where you won't have to require a barcode in some form or fashion, which means you're not going to a store, which means you're not buying an item online, when you're not parking a car in a parking garage. Because again, barcodes just take that they're involved in everything that we do. So for us, it's really kind of taking that message out to all of our customers, the market. It's reminding everybody that, look, as much as we take it for granted, it's always important to remember how important they really are.
That's exactly it. I think that's like the perfect description to celebrate this day.
For sure.
And again, because of Datalogic, we now have this history for you to watch. And like I said, if you like this content, subscribe. So, Scott, in your opinion, we talked about the past, and the past is great, but we have to move forward. What
Mhm.
is ahead for the barcode?
It's interesting. Barcodes today have really been single function, right? They serve a single purpose, to go to track items, to scan goods, for whether it's a retailer or manufacturer. But the idea now is, because we're also connected in the digital age, because everybody generally has access to the internet, no matter almost wherever they are, because of our smartphones, the devices, or computers, that now you can take the technology of a barcode and really expand upon it. So instead of being kind of a single purpose solution, we can transform it into what's being called kind of an information gateway. So now that same barcode, that same item or that same code, has the ability to transport or transfer incredible amounts of information. It really is going to change the way that barcodes or coding is used going forward. And when I talk about information gateways, what I'm referring to is, you're really just taking that barcode and you're getting access to the web. So really, when you scan a barcode now, you can get immediate access to unlimited information. And that's huge, because today, on, say, as an example, a UPC code, unless you're tied to a database or somehow tied to a customer information, it's really kind of meaningless information. But if now you can take that same barcode, and no matter where you are in the world or who you are, you can get specific information that you're looking to get, or that the manufacturer is looking to provide you. As an example, a consumer going into a retail store can now scan a code that not only gives them the information on the price, the nutrition, it could also give them information on maybe a design guide or an instruction guide on how to put together a desk that they're buying. Or it could be a warehouse employee that when they scan that exact same barcode, it tells them temperature information on where it should be stored, how to transport if there's hazardous material. A retailer could scan that exact same barcode and get a planogram from the manufacturer and how those items should be displayed. So that is really taking what a UPC or a 1D barcode into the next level, because now that same type of code technology can transport any number of information and specifics. And what's really important and exciting, what's coming, is now that same barcode gives different information based on who's scanning it and where it's being scanned. So that's pretty impactful. And that's really being referred to as a digital link technology. But what comes with that is you really have to have the technology to decipher those codes. So we're excited that all of our new products that were being developed, we're working directly with GS1 to ensure that as this new technology comes out and becomes more prevalent in the market, that we've got the technology and the solutions for our customers that they can scan that information and direct that information where it needs to go. So it's quite exciting. So looking at the past and how we got here is always really important, but also looking forward and saying, okay, where's the next transformation happening? And really the digital link for us is really where we see it going.
You mentioned GS1, and I just want to throw out there that barcoding is a GS1 Silver partner. So we are always helping companies to help with their traceability, to talk about compliance. Like you just said, the barcode is not just you scan it, you find out the price, but also it really helps with compliance in terms of food, medicine, chemicals, hazardous materials. So it really is important, like everything you said, that we think about the past, yes, but this technology is moving so fast that it not just holds that one price tag, it just holds so much information because that one scan, that's all it takes for you to gather everything you need to be compliant. And all this buzz about FSMA 204 and all of that, you need compliance.
You do. You
Yeah.
do. So it's very exciting. It's going to certainly open up new doors, new applications. And again, it's going to continue the longevity of barcoding or coding technology that for many, many years to come. It's always going to have a role. So we're excited to make sure that we are bringing new products to market to support that. Because again, there is much more involved in scanning those codes, right? Because the technology now has to parse that data out based on what the application wants to see or the data it needs to send. But it gets back to the original point of the conversation, which is speed. No matter if you're at a retail store or a warehouse or wherever you are in that cycle or that process, is the speed of that code being scanned, being parsed, and the data being sent as fast as possible. So that's something that we're very focused on and excited to bring new products to market over the coming years.
Yeah, and speed is important because it also directs to not only customer experience, but worker experience, right? We always talk about labor challenges, not just in the warehouse, but in various industries where we can't find people to do things, or, there's just not enough of them and training is hard. But I think the way that the barcode technology and, partners like Datalogic that can help is they create solutions that will help your workers do things fast. Because it's like I said, it's not just consumers who expect things to be fast, but workers do as well.
Well, it's interesting because we're also we want information now. Nobody wants to wait, right? We've kind of trained ourselves to expect almost the impossible, that if I have to wait a second or two, I'm disappointed. I want that information immediate. And that's just the way we run our lives. It's going to be the norm going forward. So access to the right information at the right time as fast as possible is the name of the game. And that's where every company can leverage that based on where they're at in the process, whether it's on product delivery, product manufacturing, engagement with their customers, excuse me. So really it's delivering that data to the right person at the right time at the right place.
Exactly. So you teased us a little bit about some of the upcoming stuff happening with Datalogic. And for Datalogic fans and customers who are watching this, Scott, give us a sneak peek. What's happening? What are you excited for in the road of barcode innovations for Datalogic?
For sure. I mean, look, it's the buzzword right now is AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
That everybody from our parents to our customers to each other, everybody is on some level talking, thinking, trying to learn what does that mean? AI is really that topic of the conversation, and it's exciting. It's going to open up all kinds of new doors and new applications, and everybody's really curious, a little concerned, right? Curious to see where it's all going to go. So AI is certainly something that we're also latching onto because again, we see the value and the future is certainly going to be it's certainly going to be impacted by what AI can do. But in saying that, we also believe that barcoding is also going to play a role, right? As much as AI is exciting and it's going to have, you've got visual recognition, you've got the learning, you've got all these things that are really, it's the sky's the limit. There's going to be a process of development. There's going to be time it's going to take to evolve. And really one of the value that we bring to the market and one of the things that we think we can leverage is the fact that the barcoding technology, the scanning, the imaging that's doing the barcode reading can also be that connection to AI. So what we're working on are technologies and solutions now that not only scan barcodes and read the data codes that we were speaking to earlier, but also perform some item recognition, some AI functionality, so that we can actually take the data from different formats and then provide that to our customers so then they can do with it as they need. So what we see is really barcoding AI really kind of tied together here, specifically over the next several years as that technology develops, that we see a lot of value and benefit in leveraging what we already have developed and done and expanding on that. So some of the new products that we're bringing to market are really becoming more of a platform. So in the past, as we talked about the self-checkout in a grocery store, which was a bioptic scanner of some kind or an imager that really serves one function. It reads barcodes essentially, and that's all it primarily does. And over the years, there's been some introduction of some camera technology into that to take maybe some images of items that you could store and send back to the customer. But really what that's evolved into is image recognition and full AI. So not only do we have this scanner at checkout that's reading barcodes, we're also in the prime position to capture images and do virtual image recognition to ensure that not only are we looking at the past and leveraging what works today, we're starting to really focus on the future as well. So we have the two technologies kind of layered on top of each other. So we're in a very unique position given our history and our background and where we're headed, that we feel we can really merge those two technologies together better than anybody else. There's a lot of companies out there talking AI and futures and really trying to, jump the shark, right? Where they really think that, we can get there in 5 years, 10 years. Some are saying it's going to take 15 years, but we need solutions today. So bridging that gap is going to be important. And that's really where we feel digital coding barcodes are going to play a role, because we can mirror what we're doing today, leverage the same technology, create a platform of collecting all this additional information, and now taking that as allows the technology to evolve, and the customers can do with it as they choose. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Really is.
And again, going back to speed, gotta have it now. I mean, if I have to wait 5-10 years, I don't know, Scott.
Yeah, for sure. And look, everyone always has an eye on the future. That's we all do. We're a technology business. Companies are always looking forward. Everybody's pushing forward, but we have real issues today, right? As much as we've seen that, AI and the push to really develop and release new technology, customers are also, and I'll speak to retail, they're also transforming their business and how they engage with their customers, whether it's due to the COVID situation that we came out of with supply chain shortages, to labor challenges, and now shrink issues. There's a lot of different issues that have to be addressed today that can't wait 5 or 10 years. And so the trick is going to be delivering a solution that can meet those needs now, while having an eye on the future and allow that kind of transition to take place. So that's where we really see the future for Datalogic and our solutions and the industry. So we're really in a very unique spot, and we're excited about the next several years and bringing more and more products to market.
No, that is actually really, really exciting. So I have a question for you, Scott. What do you say to viewers who are watching who, like you said, is a little apprehensive about this technology, who are just, they hear about it, but they're really just worried about it? What do you have to say to the viewers who have these thoughts?
You're talking about on AI?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, anything, it's new, so it can be scary, right? Because we're talking about really, there's all kinds of applications and use cases that you could leverage the technology to do. But again, there's always that concern about, well, how are they reading my face? Are they taking my personal information? Are they, what's going to happen? I lose kind of control of that. So there is that kind of concern, and those are the guardrails that really the industry is trying to figure out of, what do they put in place to make sure that we're leveraging the technology, but we're not overstepping, right? Where we kind of get into that gray area of, okay, that's the wrong information we want to collect. But I would say that, again, it's always scary when there's new technology coming to market. But I would say the value, the benefit, and the upside is incredible. And again, it is developing at a very fast pace, but it's going to take some time. And the applications themselves are still being hashed out, right? There's all kinds of initial attempts of how you leverage AI technology in business. But let's be honest, as the technology matures and and it becomes more and more embraced, there's going to be additional applications that are developed continually. So I would think that from a user standpoint, I think it's exciting, but again, everyone's cautious. But I think it's like looking at a smartphone. I mean, to think about, it wasn't that long ago that none of us had phones in our pocket. And what that meant to our daily lives and how we engaged with people socially, or how we did our jobs, or, it wasn't that long ago that we just didn't have that phone and we operated in a different manner. Sometimes it's hard to remember, how did I do my job without a phone or a cell phone? But think of that in terms of AI technology in the future. It won't be that long from now when you look back and say, wow, it was only 5, 7, 10 years ago, we didn't have this. And now it's hard to even fathom without it. So it really is just that ongoing transformation, which keeps it exciting as well, right? So again, I think that barcoding will continue to have a play. The demise of barcoding has been planned, and for for many years. There's been many people
The
say,
doomsayers,
RFID is going to replace barcoding. RFID will replace the UPC code. Well, it gets back to that comment before, or the name brilliant simplicity. It's hard to do something that costs. It's hard to replace something that's so inexpensive, right? And delivers such value that anything that comes to market really has to match that. So, RFID is fantastic. It's very successful today. There's many applications, but what we learned was it's hard to put an RFID tag on a soup can. It becomes very expensive. So the cost factor, right? So as much as AI is exciting, it's extremely expensive, right? And cost is always that factor that has to be considered. So I think that again, barcoding has this value that is going to continue to stay with us, and it'll play a role. It might change slightly, like we talked about with the digital codes, but again, the concept is still the same and the value is still there. So we're quite excited. Leveraging on the AI with barcoding together, it's a home run, we believe.
I mean, I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. And companies like Barcoding and Datalogic, we're here to make lives easier.
For sure.
We're not here to, put new technology when it's not needed, or we're trying to fix something that's not broken. When we come into a customer's lives, we see a problem or a challenge that they have. And it's really, we just want to make life easier. We want to make things faster for them, to do their jobs. So when we introduce new technology or new innovations, we're not necessarily saying, oh, because it's trendy. Oh, because, everybody else is talking about it, right?
Right. For sure. I mean, it has to serve a function, solve an issue, right? Address a business need. That's what drives it all. I mean, from a consumer standpoint, it becomes a personal thing. What am I trying to accomplish? From a corporate side, it's a different topic. It's a different issue, right? But again, if the technology doesn't solve a problem and do it in a way that make it's not too expensive, as an example, then again, AI could be the best thing in the world. But until we solve the cost issue, until we address some of the other concerns, it's going to be this thing that we're trying to grow into, right? And again, barcoding is that kind of that staple that is there today. It works extremely well. There's some enhancements that we're already doing with it that we feel is going to marry very, very, very nicely to the future technologies that continue to be evolved.
Awesome. And what do you think is the timeline for that, Scott, for Datalogic?
Well, again, we've already brought the what we're calling our Fresco platform to market. That's already released this year, which is essentially taking the bioptic scanner and taking more of a platform approach. So now that same device is not only going to be able to read the digital link codes at an incredibly fast rate and the standard barcodes, it's also going to start recording and able to leverage image capture. So now you can attach multiple cameras to our bioptic scanner to capture images from various points at the checkout process, as an example. So it's already happening. We're already having products released this year. We've got some future products planned for next year and beyond, of course, more to come on that. But again, it's going to be this evolving solution, right? Because the barcoding has to be done today, and we're already in the spot of a checkout, as an example, we can leverage that and now to attach the additional technology to develop into on top and layer it and stack it. So it allows our customers to not only scan today to meet their needs, but also start developing their AI functionality and leveraging that technology in their stores in parallel, almost behind the scenes. So it really is that great kind of bridge between the two. And that's something we've already released this year as kind of our initial offerings, and then more to come, and certainly much more exciting news to come in the coming months as well.
Well, barcoding fans, you heard him. It's this year, not 5 years, not 10 years in the future, but it's happening now for Datalogic.
Awesome. Thank you.
So last question. I'm going to put you on the spot, Scott, but what makes you a supply chain geek?
Who doesn't like the fact that we get to play a role in delivering all of that information we spoke of to our customers, to the consumer? It's exciting to be part of that, right? I mean, we are kind of that engine that keeps things going. I mean, what's better than that? I mean, the products that we do, as simple as they appear in terms of just scanning a barcode or a digital code, the impact that it has on not only business, but everyone's personal lives, it's exciting. I mean, again, it goes back to, think of a day that our technology, or at least a barcoding type technology, doesn't touch your life. And that's, there are very few technologies, you can say that about. But with barcoding, it's just ingrained in everything we do. So that's what makes me a geek about it, because it's exciting. And it's also tied to the future, as we just discussed. So really the sky's the limit. So every single day, it's just, it's fun to look at where we came from, kind of how we got here, and more importantly, where we're going.
Exactly. Well, I think that's the perfect description, and I think the best yet I've heard for the description of a supply chain geek. So I love that. And, by next year when we're doing this interview again, who knows, right? Who knows?
It'll be a virtual Scott. That's right. It'll be a virtual me. So no, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining us and celebrating National Barcode Day with barcoding. National Barcode Day barcoding. And we want to thank you again to Datalogic for sponsoring this segment. We hope you, the viewers, really got a lot out of it, because speakers like Scott, they are just subject matter experts. You cannot get someone who knows more. I mean, his company, Datalogic, they were there for the first scan. So they are definitely industry leaders. And if you want to see more from, again, subject matters like Scott, please subscribe, and also to follow Datalogic on their channels as well. So again, thank you, Datalogic, and thank you, ScanSource, for sponsoring this segment. And Scott, I'm looking forward to next year, to what you have to say.
Absolutely. Me too. It'll be here before we know it.
Exactly. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.